Great, let's begin. I think I will share my screen. Allow me to find the info session information. Having a bit of a technical difficulty at the moment, but we will begin shortly. All right. Kindly confirm that you can see my screen. Thumbs
Yes,
up.
we can see you.
All right, thank you. So for the fifth time, I think, welcome to the Zanaco Green Innovation Challenge information session. Thank you for taking the time to join this session to learn more about what it is that we're doing. Just quickly going into the agenda for today, we'll go over the overview of what the Green Innovation Challenge is. And within the overview, we'll hear from representatives from Water for Water, as well as a representative from Zanaco. Then we'll quickly go into how to participate and how you can join the challenge. I think this is one of the biggest things that has brought all of us here today. We'll go into the competition eligibility and pillars, and then the prizes, recognitions. Then we'll segue into resources and support that you will receive during the challenge. Then we'll go into frequently asked questions, I think that might even arise as we're speaking, and then who you can contact. And then if you have any questions, I think we have some time right at the end of the session for you to ask some questions. If you have anything pressing as we're speaking, please feel free to post it in the chat so that we are aware of how to answer the question as we go along. All right, so as I said in the beginning, I will go through a bit of housekeeping. Please be sure to keep your microphone on mute when you're not speaking, which will be, I think, most of this session. I think at the end of the session, when we go into Q&A, you can unmute yourself to ask. The session will be recorded as I shared, and the presentation and supporting documents will also be shared after the session. Please avoid trying to reshare as we're sharing or trying to record. We will share this recording as soon as we're done. I will hand over to Sakai to introduce Water for Water. But before she does that, I'll introduce myself. I think I just started talking without introducing myself. My name is Radia Mtonga, and I'm the Sustainability Transitions and Innovation Lead here at Water for Water, but I'm also the project lead for the Zanaco Green Innovation Challenge. If you do apply and if you do interact with us, I think you'll be interacting with me most of the time. I will also be your moderator, or I'll be taking you through this information session today. Sakai, if you are ready, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thanks, Ra. Are you able to hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Good morning, everyone. It's nice to have you on the call. So as Raz mentioned, my name is Sakai Funda, and here at Water for Water, I oversee our services, partnerships, innovation, and strategic communications. So my role today is quite simple, is to take you through who we are as Water for Water. You'll get a better sense of the Green Innovation Challenge from Radia. But my role is simply to let you know who we are as Water for Water and the role that we're playing with Zanaco. So Water for Water is an independent international organization. We are present in 3 countries, and that is Zambia, Mozambique, and Switzerland. In Zambia, we've been present for the past 10 years. And during that time, we've provided water access as well as skills development to 150,000 households and have had more than 900 graduates, or 1,000 graduates actually, respectively. And our focus is on ensuring the fair and sustainable use of water. But this extends beyond water to broad sustainability, right? Especially being underpinned by water, particularly to do with plastic waste. And this is where we come in when we're talking about the Zanaco Green Innovation Challenge. As an entity, we are providing a design and implementation support to Zanaco in rolling out the challenge. We have an international group of experts spread across the different countries I was talking about that will be providing the support to the businesses as well as to Zanaco. And where you'll get a bit more detail in exactly what we are looking for, the kind of businesses, which sustainable development goals we're looking at. But this is who we are as an organization, and we are quite excited to be working with different businesses that are just as passionate about the environment, about socio-ecological development. And so if you have any questions about Water for Water, what we do, a bit more about the challenge, you can drop those in the chat, but also like Radia has mentioned, you can drop those during the Q&A session that we have later. So that's a brief background, and I'll hand back over to you, Radia.
Thank you very much, Sakai, for that brief introduction and overview of what Water for Water does. I will quickly move on to our representative from Zanaco. Rhoda, if you're ready, I will hand over to you.
Thank you, Radia, and please confirm if you can hear me clearly.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Rhoda Kakoma. I'm the Innovation Coordinator here at Zanaco, and my role is basically to introduce to you what Zanaco's role is in this Green Innovation Challenge. As Zanaco, we are excited to be the first bank in Zambia to be accredited with the with the Green Climate Fund, and we are keen on supporting initiatives that support green initiatives for our country. And this was mentioned during our launch by the CEO at the launch of the Green Innovation Challenge. So the challenge, and as Radia will already speak to going forward, the challenge is basically driven by the strong need to combat environmental challenges such as water scarcity, climate change, and waste management, which you will agree with me are having a significant impact on our economy as well as our people. So therefore, as Zanaco, your homegrown bank, we would like to encourage sustainability-focused startups to apply for this innovation challenge to help you grow and to see your businesses scale to greater heights. From an innovation perspective, the Green Innovation Challenge will not only drive up the numbers in terms of businesses that exist in our country, but it will also drive the number of businesses that are also creating an impact on the planet as well as the people around. So this is our call to action to you as Zanaco to apply for the Zanaco Green Innovation Challenge. Thank you, and over to you, Radia.
Thank you very much, Rhoda, for that overview of what Zanaco's role is, and I think the importance of the challenge. So I think both Rhoda and Sakai have briefly mentioned the background of this challenge and the reason why it was began. So quickly about the Green Innovation Challenge, most of you would have already seen that it's embedded in the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly SDG 6, 12, and 13. The goal of this challenge, I think, is to promote or ensure the availability of sustainable management of water, sanitation, hygiene, product services for persons, particularly in peri-urban areas. So innovating for WASH, but for people in peri-urban areas. And it's also or rather created so that it can drive sustainable consumption and production patterns, but also looking for people who are innovating around solutions that are taking urgent action to combat climate change and its impact. So as I was mentioning those, I'm sure you've already connected them to, again, SDGs 6, 12, and 13. So for this pilot edition of the challenge, the pilot edition of this challenge, we're looking for early stage businesses, so 9 to 10 early stage businesses. And these businesses should be between 1 to 3 years old, right? So those are very, I think, specific parameters that you should already be aware of. These businesses should be based in Zambia because we're trying to promote sustainable development within Zambia. And of these 10 that will go through a boot camp that I'll talk about later, only 3 promising businesses or solutions will win the challenge and receive the subsequent 12 months of business support. So this is a quick overview of the challenge. How can you participate in this challenge? Obviously, you will need to make sure that you're eligible to participate, that you meet all the requirements. I think after this session, links will be reshared so that you can go to the different websites to familiarize yourself with the eligibility criteria and see if you fit the criteria. The link can be found on the Water for Water page, as well as the Zanaco Facebook page. Please be sure to finish all the steps in the application process, right? Your application will not be considered if it hasn't been complete or there are key questions that have been missed in your application. The application is currently open and will close on the 26th of August, obviously at 11:59 p.m. Any applications that will be received after that will not be considered. Only 10 selected businesses will be contacted with the next step details. These 10 businesses will receive a detailed email from Water for Water about your onboarding to a physical bootcamp that will be held at an offsite location. This is also really important to note because this offsite location will be based in Lusaka. So if you're outside of Lusaka, and I'll talk about this in the next slide, there are some things that you will have to consider. Only 2 members of each team of the chosen 10 will be eligible to come to this offsite boot camp. So when you go, when you click the link that we will share after this session or during this session, it will lead you to a page that looks like this. Throughout this page, as you're scrolling up or down, you will see this apply here button. You'll see it at the beginning, you'll see it right in the middle of the page, but you'll also see it below the page. When you click the apply here button, it will take you to a platform called F6S. You will have to sign up there are a few questions or preliminary questions that F6S will ask you before you're able to access the application form. So what F6S will ask you is to create a company profile. Please be sure to do that. Because if you don't, you're unable to proceed to the next stage, which is the application, and we won't be able to receive your application form. So those are the 2 things to note of. Click the apply here button and please fill in your profile on F6S before you can access the application form. What are some of the eligibility pillars? Of course, business experience, because we're looking for solutions that are innovating with a business focus, but are also dealing with the SDGs. So you must be a sustainable business, sustainable in the terms of, are you dealing with environmental sustainability? Are you dealing with sustainable development goals. Yes, so is your business a social enterprise, or it could be a for-profit, but it is addressing any or all three of the issues that we highlighted in the beginning. The ideal business should be running for not less than 12 months and no more than 3 years, because I think one of our values and something that Rhoda and Sky spoke of in the beginning is we're trying to help businesses scale, right? So businesses that we are trying to help scale fall within this 12 to 3 years period. You should be registered with PACRA and ideally compliant. Something that has come up here, you can be registered as a sole proprietor. You are eligible to apply. Another pillar that is important is diversity and inclusivity. How many founding members of the organization are female? Or if there are no founding members, how many females in this organization have significant decision-making power? I think something that will also be of note is, have you collaborated with diverse teams before? This is because of the way the bootcamp is designed. It will be a lot of team collaborations, working with other people that you have never seen before, or working with other businesses that do things differently. And so we will be looking for the ability to collaborate with diverse teams. And within the diversity and inclusivity, does your solution reduce inequality? Is it informed or led by indigenous people and local communities? I'll pause here and just emphasize this point, because again, these solutions should be solutions that are helping the communities that we live in, right? We're trying to improve or innovate for the context that we're in here in Zambia, the context that we're in our communities. So does your solution draw from the indigenous knowledge that is already there? And does it make sense for the context that we're in here in Zambia or in your particular neighborhood, for example? And your problem should be your specific solution, right? Should also, I think, try as much as possible to use non-expert language. That's also a thing I think that we will consider. Is it understandable within our context here in Zambia? Please remember, again, we're solving for challenges faced in peri-urban areas, and we'll really be looking towards solutions that are leaning towards a sustainable and fair use of water across all the solution categories. That's also something to consider. And then another pillar of eligibility is the commitment and availability. Because of the duration of the bootcamp, and also because, as I mentioned, it's physical and it's 1 week, we will be considering your commitment to the duration of the bootcamp and the duration of the challenge, excuse me, and your availability to attend the bootcamp. I think it's also essential because of the way it's designed and the way it's tiered. And also, I think the impact that we would like to have on the different businesses that we would work with, it is essential that you are available throughout the duration. The duration of the bootcamp can be seen below here, but you can also find the duration in the application form, on the website, and on our different platforms where we've shared about the bootcamp, about the challenge, sorry. Another pillar is your solutions impact and SDG alignment. Important to remember that we're dealing with SDG 6, 12, and 13. So your solution should fall within these three. But also, how does your solution compare to others in the industry and in the sector? What sort of impact are you creating that we haven't already seen, or how are you improving on the impact that has been created by other solutions, but also remembering that you need to align this with the different SDGs that have been highlighted. I think this is a reoccurring statement. Are you using non-expert language? Is it understandable within the context that you are creating this solution for? Yeah, I think it's been re-highlighted because I think it's a key component or a key pillar that you should be aware of as somebody that is trying to sign up or trying to join the Zanaco Green Innovation Challenge. Lastly, I think technical compliance, a lot of the things that we will be doing will require the use of a functional laptop, particularly during the boot camp. Not going again not going much into the design. You will need a functional laptop available, you and your other team member, as well as post the challenge. So you can interact with the different mentors that might be based in different locations. So these will be essential for your participation in this bootcamp. And again, to re-emphasize, we are looking for people who have no scheduling conflict during the challenge period, no scheduling conflict or conflict that can be worked around reasonably during the challenge duration, just so we can make sure that you're receiving the full value of the challenge and the full extent of the material and the resources and the learning that has been prepared for you as a participant. Right, so going into the prizes and recognition, at the end of the challenge, there will be prizes and rewards won by the top 3 sustainable businesses. Of the 10 with the best innovation and solutions based on those different pillars that we've spoken about. The first place winner will walk away with 750,000 kwacha, second place 500,000 kwacha, and third place will walk away with 250,000 kwacha. I think details about how this will be dispensed or shared will be communicated as we go forward. But I also, I think, need to note, put a note here that this money will be dispensed into a Zanaco account. So if you do not have one already, now would be the time to consider opening one because this is where the money will be received. Apart from the money, which is a big thing, I think participants in this challenge will have the opportunity for networking, which in the sustainability world, I think is something of value because it's, I think, in my opinion, sometimes a difficult industry to navigate. And so it's important to learn from other people, how they're navigating their businesses or how they are going about their day-to-day as a sustainable business. And so this challenge will provide you the opportunity to find like-minded people doing the same things you are. And then some of the resources and support that you will receive during the challenge. Of course, learning materials will be provided. We will create a repository of information that you can access. So all the different things that you will learn, there will be somewhere where you can access it and I think refer to even post the challenge. And then food and accommodation will be provided. So food and accommodation will be provided if you're selected to come to the boot camp. If you're one of the 10 people that will be selected to come to the boot camp, accommodation will be provided for the duration of the boot camp, which is 1 week, right? Which is 1 week, and all your food needs will also be taken care of within that 1 week. Transportation will also be provided from a central location within Lusaka to the offsite location. And the offsite location will be advised to the 10 people who are selected. In their onboarding pack, they will receive these details. I must make a note here that if you're outside of Lusaka and you're selected, there's a part in the form that you will see that asks you this particular question. If you're selected and you're outside of Lusaka, you will, Water for Water or Zanaco or anybody associated with the challenge will not cover your transportation from will not cover your transportation from where you are to Lusaka or provide any, I think, financial support when you're within Lusaka while you're waiting for the boot camp. Our support extends or starts from day one of the boot camp to the end of the boot camp. So that's something I think that you should take a note of. No per diem will be provided if you're part of the 10 that are selected. We will feed you, however, and give you somewhere to sleep. Only 2 people are eligible to the accommodation, food, and transportation. So if you're part of the 10 that are selected, you will have to choose within your team who can travel and who will provide the most value if they attended the boot camp. They post the boot camp, so experts will be available to assist on specific dates that will be allocated and communicated to the 10 selected businesses during the bootcamp duration. Right, so some of the frequently asked questions, I think I've already touched on this. Can you be based outside of Lusaka to apply for this challenge? Yes, you can. It's open to businesses across Zambia, but you need to commit to being present during the bootcamp duration and also footing your own costs that are associated with traveling from your current location to Lusaka for the bootcamp. The prizes include financial and non-financial support that I think I have already mentioned. You will receive coaching in product and service design, business modeling, financial modeling, and holistic business storytelling, as well as impact measurement and management. And I should mention that all of these are tailored to sustainable businesses, so businesses on the green side of businesses. I think this is something that's exciting for me, that sustainable businesses will have their own examples to refer to and their own financial models, for example, to follow. And then you also receive access to a growing network of community innovators in Zambia, sustainability focused and circular economy. I've already talked about the prize money. So that's the prize money that will be received by the 3 businesses. Something also, you do not have to be a for-profit business to apply for this challenge. You also can be a for-profit business, but you should be able to align with the 3 SDGs that we have outlined for this challenge. And pay particular attention to solving for peri-urban areas within your context. And just to highlight, your business should have been running between for 1 to 3 years old, that should be registered under PACRA. Is the challenge only open to female participants? No, it's not. I think I mentioned this in the beginning. However, you will need a woman in a key decision-making role. And will they be able to attend the in-person boot camp? I think a big question right now that is on our mind is who is running the Green Innovation Challenge? The challenge is being implemented by Water for Water, but we are running it with Zanaco, and they're playing a big part in this, hence the Zanaco Green Innovation Challenge. The application is currently open. Please feel free to apply and take note of the deadline. I don't anticipate that there will be any extensions. So if you haven't already applied, or if you know somebody that will be perfect for this, please encourage them to join the challenge. And then, can you apply as a sole proprietor? Yes, you can. However, businesses with more than one founder will be given strong consideration. I think this is also based on the fact that you will need 2 people to attend the boot camp. And also, I think for sustainability of a business, it will be great if the business had more than one founder. And then lastly, do all the founders have to be aged between the ages of 18 to 35? Yes, the simple answer is yes. So if you're 2 founders, you should all fall between this age range. All right. I think those are the most frequently asked questions. If you would like to find out more, or if I was speaking too quickly or too slowly, please feel free to get in touch with me at this email address. I'll see if I can drop them in the chat. And these are the different people that you can contact from Water for Water or from Zanaco. If you have any questions, I will stop here because that was a bit of a mouthful, and open the floor up to any questions if there are any. Thank you very much for listening attentively. Yes, I can see a hand from Zia.
Yes, thank you very much for the presentation. So I just wanted to clarify on the eligibility criteria. Is the eligibility criteria based the 1 to 3 years? Is it based only on the PACRA registration or the business activity? Because the reason I'm asking this is I was sole trading, but then we just recently incorporated the company. So now we report to a board. So I was just trying to look at where we fall off in terms of eligibility.
Yeah, that's a good question. Before I try to answer it, Sakai, would you be able to provide any insight?
Hi, so Zia, when you're putting in your application, there's a couple of areas where we'll get a sense of just how long you've been in business, right? So I would put in information based off of when you started out as a sole trader. I believe you're registered even then. And throughout your application, if you could show that graduation, right, that now you're reporting to a board and so on. So it is based on both of these. We've tried to make the form as comprehensive as possible so we can get a deep sense of your business, both the fact that you're registered and the amount of business activity you've had since you started.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So is it okay to say that even if we feel that we're still eligible, but we have those type of lacunas in terms of eligibility, or we have that, it seems a little bit questionable, is it still okay to proceed to apply? Is it something that can be considered, or maybe it's something that we would need to, before we even push in the application, we have something, maybe an email confirming our status and things like that before we push in the application?
So I think just to re-highlight what Sekai has said, if you go into the application form, you will see that there are questions that are drawing out that kind of information, right? And it will be able to tell whether you have been in business for the duration that you state. They will also be, I forgot to mention this part, they will also be due diligence done on the businesses that we are evaluating. So if your business, for example, is a high flyer or falls within the 10 or falls within the selected number of people that we are considering strongly, we will carry out due diligence before finalizing the list of the people that can be within the challenge. Hope that answers. And also, no, an email will not be necessary to share with us. Also, just I think to provide objectivity as we are evaluating. So no information will be considered outside the information that you give within the application form, other than the due diligence that we will do after the evaluation. I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you. We have a few more minutes till 11. Are there any questions for the people that were joining us and you caught the tail end of the presentation? Are there any pressing questions that you have, something that you may have seen online that you would like to ask the people present today?
Just joined, so I assume that perhaps some of that information can be found on your website.
Yes, all the other information can be found on the website. I will ask Rhoda if you're able to kindly assist me with dropping the links in the chat if you have them there available with you. Otherwise, we have all your emails and all your details for the people that registered for this information session, and those links will be shared together with the recording and I think this PowerPoint presentation. Yeah. Yes, Charles, I can see that your hand is up.
Yes, hello.
Yes.
I wanted to find out on the age eligibility, you said that the founders should be below the age of 35. What about
Yes.
if one member, like those who are supposed to be the founders, maybe here are two, and then maybe one is below 35, and then the other one maybe, let's say, 37, older than 60, older. So, our can we apply for the challenge? If the two
Right.
members, the other one is older than 65
Right.
years.
Thank you, Charles. Oh, sorry, I cut you short. I cut you short. Were you, is your question complete?
Yes, complete.
Okay. Unfortunately, Charles, we are looking for founders that are aged between the ages of 18 to 35, because of the structure of the, and also I think what it is that we're trying to promote. So trying to scale businesses and trying to scale businesses within the 1 to 3 years, but also I think boost the socio-economic standing of a particular demographic. So yes, the founders both have to be based within that age range. Yes, thank you. I think I can see one more hand, and that's Thomas.
Hi. The question is, let's say you work with two firms and they are all eligible. Can one name be listed on two applications? Let's say you are part of the management team here and part of the management on the other firm. Is that to are applicable?
Sorry, could you please ask that again?
My question was, let's say there's a business that you work with, then that you want to apply, then again another business, you are part of the shareholder. Can you also apply with both businesses? I mean, your name being listed in case one is not picked. Is that allowed?
Sekai, would you be able to answer that? While Sekai is muting her, I think if you fit both criterias, I don't see what if you fit the entire eligibility criteria and you make it beyond the due diligence. I don't see why there's no restriction for the solution. So what we're concerned with is the solution, and does it fit the eligibility criteria, and does it fit what it is that we're trying to achieve as Zanaco and as Water for Water. So yes, as long as the details are different and you are actually doing what you set out to do. Another thing that I should have highlighted or highlighting as you were asking about the businesses, Thomas, if you are, and this you will find in our terms and conditions, if you are either affiliated to somebody within Water for Water or Zanaco, or one of these people are either on your board or they have decision-making power within your organization, there's conflict of interest there and you will not be able to apply, or this will be considered during, I think I should say, it should be considered during the due diligence. So that's something that you should be aware of. Thank you.
All right.
Roderick, your hand is up, and then Mukuka. We have 7 more minutes.
Yes, madam. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I just wanted to find out if you can go through the main, projects that you are funding, because in our application as a company, we said that we want to work on a project to help, mitigate the cutting down of trees and reduce the charcoal burning and other stuff that we highlighted in our application. And then we also want to know the main eligibility, main thing that will make people fall off or go through. Just those two, madam. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Roderick. I think for the first question, maybe you may want to reach out in your individual capacity and individually to Water for Water and Zanaco to find out the other areas in which we work. This particular challenge is not a funding challenge, but has other pillars attached to it, such as business support, and the seed funding is just a component of what this challenge entails. So please feel free to reach out to either myself or Rhoda to find out what other businesses they fund outside of this challenge. And then for the last question, I think because the pillars are extensive and it's not just one pillar, this recording and the PowerPoint presentation will be shared with you. If you're in this meeting, that means we have your details and you registered. So I will share all of this information with you because we do not have enough time to go through the major pillars of eligibility. Yeah, so it's not just one thing that will make you fall off, it's several, and I'll allow you to, I think, read through them at your own pace and in your own time within the PowerPoint presentation. Thank you, Roderick. I think.
Thank you so much, madam.
Thank you. I think we have one more hand from Mukuka.
Hello.
Hello, Mukuka.
Thank you for having me. I have a question on the eligibility. It says you have to have a company or a business that has been operating between 1 to 3 years. But is that 1 or 3 years operating under green innovation projects, or is it any business? Because we do have a business that has been giving services of innovation in technology, but not necessarily in green business, green innovations. So my question is, are we still eligible? We do technology, but we have had plans to venture into green innovations, but we haven't yet got to that because of funding.
Right. I think this question is similar to one that was asked earlier. If you do go with, if you have time to go through the application form, there will be questions, or at least on the evaluators end, questions that will guide us on how to consider such a business. Part of this challenge, yes, we are promoting sustainability and we're promoting green innovation, but we also want to work with businesses that promise to scale, because we do not want it to end at the challenge stage, right? You receive your seed funding and you receive your mentorship, and there's nothing after that. So we're also looking for businesses that prove that this solution can be replicated across different contexts within Zambia, or can be or can scale beyond just the challenge. So they will be consideration, I think, as we're looking at your application, if you have applied already. And of course, the due diligence will also inform whether a business like that can be considered. I hope that answers the question. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, I don't see any more hands. I don't see any more hands. Any last questions? We have 3 more minutes. Any last questions or any contributions from either Sakai or Rhoda, or something that I may not have shared that is important to note?
I think from our side, Radia, just emphasizing the fact that your solution should be making a contribution to the communities that you're working in, right? We, as an organization, have a very strong focus on peri-urban areas and peri-urban communities. So if you can demonstrate this in your solution, that would be great. And really taking time to think about all the different pillars that we've mentioned that we're looking at. Are you solving for climate change? Are you solving for water, sanitation, and hygiene challenges? Are you solving for responsible consumption and production? So driving solutions in this area. And across all of them, across all of the different solutions, how are you reducing the amount of water waste that is produced, or ensuring that water is stored, right? That we're not losing water and so on in the environment. So just keep that in mind as you're applying. Please make a strong case for that. So this is a bit of an insider tip as you're submitting your applications. Radia, over to you.
Thank you, Sakai. Karen, I see your hand is up, but I may have answered your question within
Yes, you have.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. All right. Is background acquisition mandatory? Stella, within our, I think, again, going back to, we would like to help businesses, or would like to make sure that this is, you can replicate it within different contexts and it can scale. Yes, PACRA is a necessary thing that you need to have. You can, there are different types of registration that you can have. You will see it also in the application form that we ask what you have registered as. All right, I will It's 11 hours on the dot. And I will, at this point, I think, close the information session, but also thank you very much for attending and I think taking the time to listen again, to share that we will be sending this PowerPoint presentation and all the necessary information that you need via email. Post this session, we have your information, but if there's something that you would like to ask us, again, please feel free to get in touch with the different contact details that were shared. Thank you so much, and I will bid you a good day, and please have a good rest of your week. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, madam. We appreciate. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Good day.